If your mornings feel rushed, stressful, and out of control, you're not alone. You've hit snooze one too many times. You're checking emails before you're even fully awake. Your brain is spinning before your feet touch the ground. That's not just a bad habit, it's a missed opportunity. Because in that first hour of your day, your future is being written. Napoleon Hill said it best. You have absolute control over but one thing, your thoughts. This is the most significant and inspiring of all facts known to man. Your thoughts in the morning, they set the tone for your entire day, and your days shape your destiny. Let's talk about how to take back your morning, with intention, clarity, and power. Part 1. Awaken to purpose. Every sunrise gives you two options. 1. Wake up with purpose. Point 2. Or drift through the day reacting to everything and achieving nothing. This might sound simple, but it's the first and most powerful decision you make every single day. Before the world knocks on your door, with news, notifications, demands, you have a moment of silence. That silence is sacred. Napoleon Hill believed that successful people don't wait for the world to decide their mood. They decide it for themselves. Andrew Carnegie, one of Hill's inspirations, understood this well. He didn't leave his day to chance. He created his day. Each morning, before distractions took hold, he paused. He asked, "What kind of man do I want to be today? What kind of future am I building?" That's how you lead a powerful life, not by waiting, but by waking up on purpose. The morning is your mind's workshop. Hill called the human mind a workshop. And in the morning, that workshop is quiet, focused, and full of creative energy, if you take control of it. Most people wake up in chaos. They check their phones, scroll mindlessly, or rush into their day without a plan. But the successful ones? They use their mornings like a builder uses a blueprint. They think on paper. They visualize success. They speak life into their goals. Carnegie, Edison, Ford, they all had this one thing in common. They started their days deliberately, not accidentally. You are the captain. The morning is the wheel. Think of your morning like the wheel of a ship. Before you set sail on the sea of the day, the news, the meetings, the traffic, the pressure, you must first choose your direction. If you don't steer it, the world will steer it for you. Wake up and ask yourself, what do I want to feel today? What do I want to focus on? What one thing must I complete to move toward my vision? Even 5 minutes of clarity can save you hours of wasted motion. Clarity is power in the morning. Your subconscious is wide open. It listens more. It absorbs faster. It believes more deeply. Use this window wisely. Napoleon Hill taught the power of definiteness of purpose. The idea that knowing what you want, and why you want it, creates unstoppable momentum. This clarity doesn't appear by accident. You have to create it. Every morning. Even something as simple as writing down one sentence like, "Today, I move one step closer to my dream." That sentence becomes your compass. Design your morning. Don't drift into it. Successful people don't just have morning routines, they have morning intentions. This isn't about waking up at 4 a.m. or doing a dozen things before breakfast. It's about alignment, energy, purpose. Ask yourself, what are my non-negotiables in the morning? What helps me feel grounded and powerful? Maybe it's silence. Maybe it's gratitude. Maybe it's planning your top 3 goals. Maybe it's imagining the life you're building. Whatever it is, do it with intention. Because once you own your morning, you start to own your life. What this looks like in action. Let's say tomorrow you wake up and instead of grabbing your phone, you do this. 1. Sit up, take a deep breath, and say, "Today, I choose purpose." Point 2. Close your eyes, and picture yourself moving through the day with confidence. Point 3. Write down 3 goals, even small ones. Something you can and will do today. Point 4. Say out loud, "I am in control. I am the captain of this day." Do that for 7 days. And I promise, your energy, focus, and momentum will shift. That's how the greats live. That's how you can live, starting now. Closing thought. Napoleon Hill said, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But first, the mind must be calm enough to conceive, focused enough to believe, and energized enough to achieve." That's what your morning gives you, if you design it right. Tomorrow morning, don't just wake up, rise with purpose. Set your tone, claim your direction. Because when you own the first hour, you can own the day. And when you own enough days, you can own your destiny. Would you like me to now continue with part 2? Focusing on goal setting, clarity, and action, inspired by Thomas Edison and Napoleon Hill? Part 2 title: Create Unstoppable Momentum. Starting with your morning wins headphone engaging hook. There's a secret the most successful people in history knew. Your day doesn't begin when the clock says it does. It begins when you take control. And the earlier you do that, the more power you hold. If you wait for motivation to find you, if you wait for the right mood to start working, then life will pass you by while you're warming up. But when you wake up and create momentum, when you take the first action before the world even moves, that's when the magic begins. Napoleon Hill said, "Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand. And where you stand each morning, that's the most powerful ground you'll ever claim." Let's talk about how momentum and resilience are built, not by chance, but by choice. 3. The power of morning momentum. The earliest hours of your day are not just about brushing teeth and making coffee. They're about building direction. John D. Rockefeller, the world's first billionaire, wasn't lucky. He engineered his success. How? He used his mornings as his launch pad. Before most people were awake, Rockefeller had already tackled something important. That wasn't a coincidence. That was a mindset. He believed, like Hill, that your first victory of the day creates a ripple effect, a chain reaction of wins. Start strong, finish stronger. When you begin your day with clarity and action, even just one important task, you tell your mind something powerful. I am in control. And that feeling? It stays with you. It gives you energy, clarity, and momentum that builds hour by hour. Imagine this: person A hits snooze twice, rushes through breakfast, and starts reacting to emails by 10 a.m. Person B wakes up with a mission, completes a tough task by 8 a.m., and walks into their day calm, confident, and clear. Who do you think wins the day? Momentum is not magic. It's a system. The science behind momentum: when you complete something hard early in the day, a workout, a deep work task, a decision you've been avoiding, your brain rewards you with dopamine. That small chemical hit isn't just about feeling good. It fuels your drive, your focus, and your follow-through. Napoleon Hill understood this before science proved it. He taught that every act of willpower builds more willpower. One good decision opens the door for the next. You begin to feel unstoppable. Not because the world changed, but because you changed how you entered the world. Kill procrastination with a morning win. Hard tasks don't get easier the longer you wait. They get heavier. They grow in your mind. They steal your focus and drain your energy. But if you attack the hard thing first, you flip the script. You create momentum that does the heavy lifting for you all day. Let your morning be a declaration, not a delay. Say to yourself, I don't wait for momentum, I create it. 4. Resilience begins before the storm. Let's go deeper. Momentum gives you energy. But resilience gives you power when energy runs out. And you build resilience the same way you build muscle, by showing up and doing hard things daily. Winston Churchill, one of Napoleon Hill's greatest real-life examples, didn't lead with luck. He led with grit. During the darkest hours of World War II, when bombs fell on London and fear filled the air, Churchill didn't crack. Why? Because his strength wasn't built in the war. It was built before the war, in how he lived his days, how he owned his mornings, how he practiced self-mastery. Resilience is a ritual. Most people wait for life to get hard before they get strong. But winners? They train before the battle. And every morning, life gives you a training ground. Take the cold shower. Have the tough conversation. Finish what you start. Small actions. Massive consequences. These are not about comfort. They are about conditioning. Because when stress comes knocking, and it will, you'll be ready. Hard things build strong people. Napoleon Hill wrote, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. But here's the truth. That seed only grows if you're mentally prepared, and that preparation happens in the quiet hours before the world screams. Resilience is not just reacting well when things go wrong. It's preparing so thoroughly that when life punches you, you're already standing strong. Shift from fear to focus. Resilient people don't ask, why is this happening to me? They ask, what can I learn? How can I grow? What's the opportunity in this? That shift, from victim to student, is where true power lives. And you don't wait for life to teach you. You teach yourself, every single morning. Make this your morning practice before the day begins. Do this. 1. Breathe deeply. Sit in silence. 2. Write one sentence about who you want to be today. 3. Face one hard thing before the world distracts you. 4. Say out loud, today I create momentum. Today I build strength. That's not just a routine. That's a personal revolution. Final word, you are the engine. You don't need more motivation. You need a morning routine that creates it. You don't need a perfect plan. You need to act, especially when it's hard. Because resilience is not found in comfort. It's found in courage, in consistency, and in choice. You are not at the mercy of your mood. You are the creator of your momentum. So tomorrow morning, when the world is still asleep, get up, get focused. Do the hard thing first, and say to yourself, I will not wait for strength. I will build it. One decision at a time. Would you like me to continue with part 3, focusing on belief, identity, visualization, and how belief shapes your reality, all inspired by Napoleon Hill's next level principles? Part 3, everything you want, every goal, dream, breakthrough. It all begins in one place, your belief. Not the economy, not your past, not your circumstances, but the story you tell yourself before the world even wakes up. Henry Ford said it best. Whether you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. That's not just a quote. It's a blueprint for achievement. Because the most powerful force shaping your life is your belief about what's possible. Section 1. Belief creates reality. Napoleon Hill wrote. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And your mornings? They are the birthplace of belief. Each morning, you are handed a blank page. And before you act, before you plan, you must decide what kind of story you're going to write. Because belief comes before behavior. Henry Ford didn't build an empire because he had the most money or connections. He built it because he believed he could change the world. And then he worked like hell to make it happen. You must do the same. How to program your belief before your phone, before emails, before the outside world. Talk to yourself. Yes, really, stand tall. Breathe deep. And say, I am capable. I am focused. I overcome obstacles. I am building a life of meaning. This isn't fluff. This is neuroscience. What you speak with emotion and repetition, your brain accepts as truth. Say it enough, and your subconscious will begin filtering the world through that lens. You'll start seeing opportunities. Acting differently. Walking with purpose. Belief is your internal GPS. It sets the route before the journey even begins. Section 2. Passion fuels the climb. Now let's add fuel to your belief. Because belief gets you started, but passion keeps you going. Walt Disney didn't just wake up with a business plan. He woke up with a burning fire inside, a passion to bring joy, imagination, and wonder into the world. Before there were theme parks or talking mice, there was one man with a vision, and that vision pulled him. Through failure, doubt, and years of hardship, you have that same spark. Even if it's buried beneath routine or stress, it's still there. How to reignite your fire? Ask yourself each morning, why did I begin this journey? What legacy do I want to leave? Who do I want to impact? Say it out loud. Feel it. See it. This is your emotional fuel. Without it, your days will feel mechanical. With it, your life becomes meaningful. Passion isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's a steady flame that says, keep going. This matters. So before you dive into tasks, reconnect with why they matter. Let passion be the pulse of your morning. Let it guide you when logic says quit. Section 3. Learning builds the edge. Now that you believe, now that you feel, you must grow. Because passion without progress leads to frustration, and the mind, if not stretched, will shrink. Abraham Lincoln, born into poverty and raised far from privilege, became one of the most respected minds in history. How? He made learning a daily ritual. Each morning, he read. He reflected. He asked better questions, and it sharpened his mind like a blade. Make morning learning a ritual. Start with just 10 minutes. Read a book that challenges you. Listen to a podcast that inspires growth. Journal a new idea or lesson. It's not about volume. It's about consistency. Napoleon Hill said, an educated man is not one who has general knowledge, but one who has developed the faculties of his mind. Learning is not school. It's personal evolution. Your morning learning sessions sharpen your decision-making, improve your communication, and prepare you for life's curveballs. Section 4. Adaptability is the real superpower. Let's be real. Even with belief, passion, and learning, life will test you. Plans will break, markets will shift, storms will come, and in those moments, it's not just strength that carries you. It's adaptability. The ability to bend without breaking. Pivot without panic. Respond without losing your purpose. That's what separates the survivors from the champions. Train for change. Before it comes each morning, remind yourself, I do not fear change. I train for it. Life isn't about perfection. It's about resilience and motion. Use the early hours to build that mindset. Try new things. Tackle unfamiliar problems. Ask, if this fails, what's plan B? You're not just building a routine. You're rehearsing for uncertainty. Because the world rewards those who can move, even when the road turns unexpectedly. Closing message. You are the architect. Every morning gives you the chance to design your future. Point one thought, one belief, one decision at a time. And when you combine these forces, white heavy check mark belief, white heavy check mark passion, white heavy check mark learning, white heavy check mark adaptability, you become unshakable. Napoleon Hill didn't just write about success. He decoded the mindset that creates it. Now it's your turn to apply it. Wake up with clarity. Speak belief into your heart. Fuel your fire. Sharpen your mind. And train your spirit to adapt. The world doesn't need more drifters. It needs deciders. Builders. Leaders. So tomorrow morning, when the alarm goes off, don't just wake up. Rise with purpose. You're not waiting on your dream. You're becoming it, one morning at a time. Let me know if you'd like me to move forward with Part 4, focusing on visualization, persistence, and identity-based decision-making, all in the same powerful, easy-to-follow style. Part 4 title: See It. Stick with it. Become it. How visualization, persistence, and identity unlock your power. Headphone engaging hook. If you want to change your life, change what you see when you close your eyes. Because every breakthrough, every invention, every transformation started first as a vision in someone's mind, long before the world saw anything at all. Napoleon Hill said, "Whatever you can imagine and believe, you can achieve." But that's not just philosophy. That's a proven path. So let's talk about how to turn invisible dreams into visible results, with the same tools used by history's greatest achievers. Section 1. Visualization creates reality. Your mind doesn't know the difference between something vividly imagined and something real. That's not motivation. That's neuroscience. When you see your goals clearly, when you feel their achievement with emotion, your brain begins to act as if it's already true. It starts looking for ways to close the gap between where you are and where you've already been in your mind. That's why top athletes visualize winning before they play. That's why master entrepreneurs walk through success in their heads before they build it. They rehearse victory long before the world hands it to them. You must do the same. Morning visualization practice before the world gets loud. Close your eyes and see yourself speaking with confidence, solving problems calmly, walking into your goals with boldness, living the life you dream about. Don't just think it. Feel it. Emotion is the glue that sticks imagination to reality. This is not daydreaming. It's training your subconscious to expect success. And what the mind expects, it finds a way to create. Section 2. Persistence is the separator. Now here's the truth. Visualization alone is not enough. You must follow your vision with unshakable persistence. Napoleon Hill studied over 500 millionaires and found one trait that showed up again and again. They refused to quit, not because it was easy, not because things always went their way, but because their desire burned stronger than their doubt. How to build relentless persistence. Persistence is not a mood. It's a decision, and it must be made every morning, because some days will feel heavy, some goals will feel distant. But that's when you lean harder on discipline, not motivation. Start small. Choose one non-negotiable every morning. 30 minutes of deep work. A call you've been avoiding. One more rep, one more page, one more push, because every act of follow-through strengthens your belief. And belief, stacked with action, creates momentum you can't buy. Section 3. Identity-based decisions change everything. Here's where most people get stuck. They chase change from the outside. They say, "When I get the promotion, I'll feel confident. When I lose the weight, I'll feel worthy. When I succeed, I'll believe." That's backwards. Real change starts from the inside out. Napoleon Hill taught, "You become what you think about most of the time. If you think like a winner, you'll act like one. If you think like a creator, you'll start creating. If you think like a victim, you'll stay stuck. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your identity." Morning identity check. Each morning, ask yourself, who am I becoming today? What does that version of me do? What does that version of me say no to? Then make every choice as if you're already that person. Because the more you act like the version of yourself you want to become, the faster you become. Then, you stop needing outside approval. You stop needing perfect conditions. You start living from the inside out, with clarity, confidence, and conviction. Section 4. Inner mastery comes first. Most people focus on outer success, money, status, image. But true greatness begins inside, with mental discipline, emotional clarity, and spiritual alignment. The world you build will always reflect the world within. So train the inside like it matters. Because it does. That means controlling your thoughts before they control you, creating calm in the chaos, leading your emotions, not being led by them. Napoleon Hill said, "Self-discipline begins with a mastery of your thoughts. And your morning is your dojo. Your training ground. So when life punches, you're already strong. Morning inner mastery. Practice silence. Begin with 2 minutes of stillness. Just breathe. Listen. Awareness. Notice your thoughts. Are they helpful? Are they holding you back? Focus. Choose your direction. Anchor your mind in what matters today. Do this, and you stop living in reaction. You begin to lead your life, moment by moment. Final word. Become who you were meant to be. You already have everything you need. White heavy check mark. A mind that can imagine. White heavy check mark. A heart that can feel. White heavy check mark. A will that can persist. White heavy check mark. A soul that knows the truth. Now you just need to use them. Every morning. Close your eyes. See it. Open your heart. Believe it. Stand up. Become it. Because your future isn't waiting to be found, it's waiting to be claimed. Hold a picture of yourself long enough in your mind, and you will be drawn toward it. Napoleon Hill. Tomorrow morning, don't just get out of bed, get into alignment. See the future. Walk into it with persistence. Decide based on identity, not insecurity. Master your mind before the world demands your attention, and then, become unshakable. Part 5. Title: Decide. Commit. Stay calm. The power of unshakable decision, discipline, and emotional control. Headphone engaging hook. Every breakthrough begins with one thing: a decision, not a wish, not a hope. A decision so clear, so strong, it cuts through fear and hesitation. Napoleon Hill said it best. The man who actually knows what he wants in life has already gone a long way toward attaining it. So if you feel stuck, it's not that you don't have potential. It's that you haven't decided who you're going to be, and what you're no longer willing to tolerate. Let's fix that. Today you decide. Section 1. Decision is power. Most people drift. They wait. They hesitate. They hope life will somehow align without direction. But life doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards clarity. Napoleon Hill discovered that every major success story began with one powerful decision, a decision to no longer live small. Morning decision. Practice each morning. Look in the mirror and ask, who do I choose to be today? What will I no longer accept in my life? What will I pursue with full commitment? Don't wait for the right conditions. Make the decision, and then create the conditions. Because decisions shape identity, and identity shapes behavior. Section 2. Commitment is the line you don't cross. Once you decide, you must commit, not when it's easy, not when you feel good, but every single day, especially when it's hard. The moment you make a real commitment, your world begins to change. You no longer try. You do. You no longer hope. You move. How commitment feels. It feels like doing the work when nobody's watching. It feels like saying no to temporary pleasure for long-term reward. It feels like walking alone sometimes, and doing it anyway. You must say to yourself, this is who I am now. This is my standard. I don't go backward. That mindset creates momentum nothing can shake. Section 3. Emotional control is the mark of leadership. Napoleon Hill wrote, the man who can control his emotions can own his destiny. Success doesn't come to the most talented. It comes to the most emotionally disciplined. When chaos hits, the average person reacts. The committed person responds with poise. Your morning emotional training begins in silence. Center your breath. Ask, what emotions do I choose today? Visualize yourself remaining calm under pressure. Then when the world tries to pull you out of alignment, you won't react. You'll lead. Because you've already rehearsed your calm. This is how you become the eye in the storm. Still, focused, powerful. Section 4. You don't rise to the level of motivation, you fall to the level of decision. This is the truth most never realize. Motivation fades. Inspiration wears off. But decisions, real decisions, stay. They guide you through fatigue. They carry you when you're tired. They anchor you when emotions try to hijack your progress. Affirm this each morning. I have already decided who I am. I am disciplined. I am calm. I follow through. I do not negotiate with weakness. You don't chase discipline, you become it. And when your identity is built on strong decisions, you become untouchable. Section 5. Calm is a superpower in a world that's reactive, anxious, noisy. Calm is the new power. You don't have to yell to be strong. You don't have to rush to be effective. You just have to be anchored. Napoleon Hill taught that the greatest minds in history controlled their inner world, so the outer world could never control them. How to build morning calm. Silence before screen. No phone, no news. Just breath and focus. Visualize the chaos. Then see yourself unshaken. Practice gratitude. Calm begins when you remember what you already have. Calm isn't weakness. It's strength, fully mastered. Fire final word. Decide once. Live it daily. The quality of your life is not determined by your luck, it's determined by your decisions. Decide what you want. Commit like your life depends on it. Lead your emotions like a warrior. And watch how fast your world changes. You don't need a new life. You need a new standard. And a decision you stop breaking. Deliberate decisions, made with boldness and faith, create the destiny of great men and women. Napoleon Hill. So make yours. This morning. Right now, not when you feel ready, not when the world approves. You are the approval. You are the decider. You are the force. And when you live like that, no storm can shake you. And no challenge can break you, because you've already decided to rise. Part 6 title: Discipline over Mood. How consistency, sacrifice, and daily discipline build an unstoppable life. Headphone engaging hook. If success still feels far away, it's not because you're missing talent. It's because you're still depending on motivation. And motivation is a liar. It shows up when it wants. It leaves when you need it most. But discipline is loyal. Discipline shows up every morning. With or without your permission, Napoleon Hill said. Self-discipline is the master key to riches. So let's talk about the mindset that wakes you up, even when you don't feel like it, and turns your ordinary days into extraordinary results. Section 1. Discipline is the bridge between desire and results. Every one of us wants something more. More freedom, more purpose, more peace. But most people stop at wanting. They wait for the perfect mood, the perfect moment, the perfect plan. Winners don't wait. They decide. They act. They repeat. Because success isn't built in big, exciting bursts. It's built in boring, unglamorous consistency. Your morning discipline ritual: wake up when you said you would, not when you feel like it. Do the thing you promise yourself, especially when it's hard. Ignore the excuse. Embrace the standard. Discipline trains your mind to obey your values, not your impulses. And when you win that first decision of the day, every other decision becomes easier. Section 2. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Let's get honest. You will feel pain. The pain of discipline, doing what's right when it's hard. Or the pain of regret, knowing you could have been more, but chose comfort. Point 1. Pain builds you. The other breaks you. You get to choose. Think of every act of discipline like a deposit into your future. You don't always see the results today, but you're building compound power, the kind that doesn't break under pressure. Examples of discipline in action: going to the gym when your body says stay in bed, writing the page when your mind says, not today, investing when others are spending, listening when you'd rather react. These aren't just habits. They are the building blocks of your identity, and over time, they separate the average from the unstoppable. Section 3. Delayed gratification builds unshakable confidence. The people who live the life they want didn't get there by taking shortcuts. They took the long road on purpose. They understood the value of delayed gratification. While others were chasing quick highs and easy dopamine, they were choosing long-term rewards. Hill's most powerful students knew this. The ability to delay gratification is the root of every major success. Every time you resist a distraction, you strengthen your self-trust. Every time you say, not now, to comfort, you say yes to purpose. Train this muscle every morning. Delay your first dopamine hit. No phone, no junk info. Do the hard task before the easy one. Celebrate discipline, not just outcomes. Delayed gratification builds inner power, because when you can control your attention, your energy, and your appetite, you can control your life. Section 4. Finish strong. Master the ordinary. Most people never finish. They start the journal. They start the diet. They start the dream. But they quit when it gets quiet. When it gets hard. When it gets lonely. Not you. Because you understand this. Extraordinary lives are built by people who master the ordinary. That means showing up when no one is watching, doing it again when no one claps, staying humble, focused, and hungry. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. That's what discipline is. Not fire, but fuel. Not drama, but dedication. Fire final word. You are the builder of your life. Discipline is your hammer. Consistency is your blueprint. And your future? It's not a mystery. It's a structure, built one morning at a time. So ask yourself, did I rise with purpose today? Did I keep the promise I made to myself? Did I choose strength over comfort? Because if you did, you already won. Your dreams aren't waiting for the right mood. They're waiting for the right you to show up. And now you know how. You either control your mind, or it controls you. Napoleon Hill. The war is won in the morning. The prize is earned in the discipline. And the life you want is built in quiet, repetitive acts of courage. You have the tools. You have the power. Now go finish the work.